to share a little bit about BBB, and then I'll share with you an infographic that I recently ran into. For those, does anyone know what an infographic is? They're like the latest thing in terms of social media. And basically, you know, instead of writing a report on, a research report basically, on a topic, people are now turning to infographics where they represent their findings through a picture. So it's very good for visual learners and it's really easy to understand. Well, this one's kind of easy to understand, but we'll walk through it. So we'll do that. So just a little background about BBB. We are the leader in marketplace trust. Consumers do turn to us, I want to say 20,000 times a month to research businesses in the community before they actually hire them. So if even if you're not an accredited business with BBB, I would recommend that you contact us to have a business review created for your business. That way you're in the system just in case anyone researches you. And the only difference is that if you're an accredited business, you'll show your logo, and if not, your report would look the same as the other, just without the BBB logo. We do have 116 BBBs in the US and Canada, and we are a nonprofit. A lot of people think that we're with a government agency, and we're actually not. We're a nonprofit organization, and we were locally established in 1938, but nationwide we were established in 1912, so we're turning 100 next year. And we're really, really excited about that.
Actually, everybody's turning 100.
Yeah, Arizona's turning 100 too, so.
The chamber is turning 100.
Oh, really?
The city of Chandler is turning 100. And my
Al
grandfather.
Kiwis.
And my grandfather.
Al Kiwis too. No, I was kidding. We do have offices in Phoenix and Prescott. There's an office in Tucson, but they're a separate BBB. We serve Central, Northern, and Western Arizona. And we're looking to opening an office in Yuma, hopefully next year. So we'll cover that. Like I said, we have over 10,000 accredited businesses that are part of our network. And those are businesses that have committed to operating ethically in the marketplace and have gone through a rigorous application process. These are some of the services that we offer to the public: advertising review, dispute resolution, business reviews, and consumer tips. In terms of ad review, we really look at any type of ad. Newspaper, radio, TV, auto ads are very tricky, so we usually look at those. We take online illegal street signs off the streets because people always most of the time they get scammed by those signs. So we really try to take them out of the public eye. And then online claims. And the trick to this is not that we're looking out there to see if everyone's advertising correctly and just nail them. We really want to make sure that companies are really advertising true information. If they have a sale or a discount, that they can substantiate that claim right there on the spot. And then they're just doing it in ethical, clear, concise wording, so that you won't confuse the consumer thinking that they're going to get one thing over the other. So we really work hard in terms of ads. Dispute resolution, most people know us for this. Consumers usually say to a business when they're not happy, I'm going to report you to the Better Business Bureau. And that's because we have a really good complaint process. We receive over 35 complaints monthly. And I know there are a lot of review sites out there like Angie's List and Yelp, and a lot of things where you can actually post a comment about a business. But for us to take a complaint from a consumer, it has to be in writing. And we really have to verify that the consumer actually purchased something from the store, so our complaints are legitimate. You can't just go out there and try to bash that company, just because you didn't like them or you don't like someone that works there. So I think that's what really sets us apart. We really have a structured complaint process.
So, can you file a complaint against a company even though they're not members of the BBB?
Yes, you can. And most of the complaints are actually filed against companies that are not BBB accredited, and they have an F rating. Because if you have to have a B or higher rating to be BBB accredited, and most companies that receive a lot of complaints have F ratings. So that's another thing.
Can a company that's not a BBB check and see if there's any complaints against them?
Yes, every time we receive a complaint from a consumer, we contact the company
okay.
and give them a chance to respond. Yes, definitely. Everyone has equal opportunity to respond whether you're accredited or not.
So how do you get rated? Like you're an F or?
We have 16 standards for rating, and I don't have them with me, but there's like a rubric, and every company, whether they're accredited or not, they get graded based on those standards.
Oh, okay.
But to become accredited, you have to if you are in an industry that requires licensing, we have to verify that you have the correct licensing. We actually like research your company thoroughly for you to become accredited. That's why we guarantee, or not guarantee, but we support those businesses that have BBB accreditation. So we act as a neutral third party, and if a consumer and a company can't resolve an issue, we do offer arbitration and mediation services for our accredited businesses. And one of the features is business reviews, and it'll tell you, it's like the report card of a business. It'll tell you the length of time they've been in business, if they're accredited or not, the officers, key personnel, their rating based on the standards. And we added a new feature this year, which is a consumer review. We realized that our business reviews beforehand had only information about complaints. So we want to give consumers the opportunity to say the good things that they experience with the business. So that's why we implemented consumer reviews. So now you can go on, just like Angie's List, and input a very positive comment about a company. You can also input a negative comment, but if someone inputs a negative comment about a company, then they cannot submit a complaint. So they can't do it twice. So it's either a complaint or a review, whichever they choose. Like I said, it'll tell you if they have licensing agency referrals, the type of business, and then if they have any government actions against them, it'll be on their business review as well. We also have a BBB Foundation, which is our charity portion of BBB. And through this, we go out and educate teens and seniors about scams. And we also hold our annual Business Ethics Awards through the foundation, which I encourage you to nominate your business or your vendors. It's the season to give thanks, so thank them by nominating them for this award. This is a really prestigious award. It takes place around May, and we only pick 5 winners. And they're in 5 categories based on business size, so don't think you're competing against really large corporations that have a lot of employees.
Great.
So nominate a business. Like I said, we go out and we educate consumers on our savvy consumer programs, just give general tips advice. Like I said, BBB is standard for trust. That means we really research the business. So we really try to educate businesses on why BBB is good for them. And we have really high consumer recognition. I think 80% of consumers know BBB brand, and they contact us to research a business. We also just launched a new campaign. See if it works. Well, I'll just tell you about it, because I can't show it. We just launched a new campaign entitled We Invented This Whole Idea, and it's basically, we're turning 100. We did invent the whole idea of rating businesses, of having consumers submit their comments about a business, and you know, everyone's being inundated with Angie's List, Yelp, and all these other review sites. So you're almost thinking, so where do I go first? Where do I really research a company to make sure they're okay to use? And we're really promoting the use of our accredited businesses, just because we have done the homework already for the consumer. So that's what our new campaign focuses on. And we have billboards, radio ads, transit shelters. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like I said, we have very good media relations, 45 mentions a month in both Spanish and English media. And those are some of the benefits that I won't go into. They get to use the BBB logo. There's also an e-quote feature that we have through our system. If you're a consumer, you can go through our directory, and let's say you're looking for a plumber, and you'll select plumber industry, and you'll select an area if you want someone from Chandler, and say you want a proposal to fix something, write in what you want, and that proposal will go out to every accredited business that's listed under that category. So it gives them the opportunity to respond to the consumer with a proposal for the work that they need done, which is a really neat feature that we offer accredited businesses. We also have a weekly e-newsletter, Arizona Bulletin, bi-monthly business seminars. We just had a seminar Facebook a couple of months ago. It was really good. A lot of people are into that social media frenzy, so those are always very popular. Industry resolution, and that's our number. And this is the graphic that I was telling you guys about. Diversity in the workplace. So basically they took compensation, career advancement, discrimination, and plans to leave a job when the economy turns around. And they really asked people in these segments, non-diverse, African American, Asian, workers with disabilities, the LGBT community, Hispanics, and women. Just various questions on how they fit into these categories. And what they found, this is really hard to see actually, but that non-diverse people, they're the second most likely to earn six-figure salaries with 70%. The group that is most likely is still, I think the LGBT segment are the most likely, but just by 1%. So they're the most likely to earn six-figure salaries. They're the most, non-diverse are the most likely to hold management positions with 26%. And the least likely to seek a new position with 30%. Something to note here is that the non-diverse group really thought that someone with a minority background or a diverse background had way more chances of being offered a position when applying for a job. So I think it might influence why they won't seek new opportunities once the economy recovers. So,
Non-diverse is what, 50-year-old white males?
I'm guessing. Just they don't fall into that category.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't.
I just wondered what non-diverse
One
is.
diverse is.
What non-diverse is.
Right. I didn't look at that.
Okay.
Sorry. African Americans are the second least likely to earn six figures with 8%, and they're tied with Hispanics. They are the most likely to feel discriminated against, which I thought it was pretty surprising with 25%. And they're the second most likely to seek new positions when the economy comes around. Then we have Asians. They're the least likely to make under $50,000. So the 50, yeah, that's what I was the most likely. They're the least likely to feel discrimination, which is pretty interesting. And are the most likely to seek a new position. I think they have the skill set too. Workers with disabilities. They are the most likely to earn under $50,000. 22% feel discriminated against, and 42% are likely to seek a new position when the economy turns around. The LGBT community, they are the most likely to earn six-figure salaries. And they're the second most likely to hold management positions. The first is the non-diverse segment. These are Hispanics. They're the second least likely to earn six-figure salaries. With African Americans, they're more likely to hold entry-level administrative positions, and this is a really high number, 49%. 21% feel discriminated against, and only 35 are likely to seek a new position when the economy turns around. For women, they're the least likely to earn six figures with 6%, the least. And 19% feel discriminated against, and 31 are likely to seek a new position. What I noticed is that women and Hispanic statistics are really similar in this study. So basically compensation. Women are the least likely to earn, the LGBT community are the most likely to earn six-figure salaries. In terms of career advancement, Asians are the least likely to hold management positions. Non-diverse are the ones that are the most likely. Discrimination, Asians are the least likely to feel discriminated, while African Americans are the most likely. And plans to leave a job when the economy turns around. Non-diverse market are the least likely, and Asians are the most likely.
Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. Does anybody find that surprising, or that kind of what?
Good information.
Huh?
It's very good information.
Yeah. Very good.
Take care. Happy Thanksgiving.
See you, Noel. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's interesting that Asians are least likely to hold management positions.
And that when you're
I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting.
You know what, I
That too.
Yeah.
Tech
Yeah.
companies. They don't get management degrees, they get degrees by maybe ignorance.
when
That's what I would.
I used to work at the bank that was really close to ASU, and I remember that most of the new Asians were coming out of Hong Kong. It is so competitive to get to go to college, in Asia, in that area there, that a lot of them have to go outside of the country. And so when they come here, they have a program for them to help them to get into the, the school and to get, learn about everything. They have to teach a lot of things to them right away, just coming from a new country. But one of the things is that, they don't speak English. Their English is not that well, but they're good in the sciences and math. And so they don't need to, use those communication skills. And so I think it kind of falls in line with what you're saying there, Marion.
I think
I read studies time ago, like 30 years ago, in Parade magazine, the Sunday supplement. 85% of all Asians are the most successful. Asian population is the most successful immigration population in the United States. 85% are successful. With whatever business, maybe a grocery store or a vegetable market, they're extremely successful.
I noticed that, like, just growing in the area, like grocery stores. Like when I was a kid, there was a Chinese store right there at 24th Street and Southern, and they lived in the back. I mean, their expenses are very low, and everybody helps out. So when I see an Asian store or a restaurant going up, I know that they're in there for the long haul. It's not like they expect to get rich right away, but they're definitely in there, and they keep costs to a minimum, and I think they're very good business people, which kind of what you're saying there.
And it makes me think about that study that you're mentioning. Are they represented in the community and in the chamber community? They're business owners, they're successful, but we really see them out there. And maybe that's a new segment that we should be reaching out to. So what does this mean? It means there's opportunity for businesses to help bring equality in the segments. So how to get there, and I took this from a Harvard Business Review article. So basically confront the facts, and I think the presentation right before really let you be aware of some of the facts. So something that I read also says that you really want to represent the market that you serve, just because you'll get a better understanding of how your target consumer thinks if you have a workforce that represents that segment, which makes sense to me. And then also create a discipline plan. You not only want to create a plan to be implemented by your workers or your subordinates, you also want to challenge them to really expand their knowledge and really lead by example. Because a lot of companies really just establish a plan and then they tell employees to follow it, but really it has to start at the top. So declare yourself. If you're the CEO, if you're the president, you're the prime example of how the initiatives will be handled by your employees. Educate the organization. Build programs that teach others how to think more inclusively. When I think of this, I think to a past job where I had a male manager, and he used to use a lot of sports analogies to, motivate us and kind of explain procedures. Well, I don't know anything about sports, and I don't really care for sports. So I really wasn't engaged in that conversation when he would use those analogies. But I think if you implement training programs that really teach your leaders how to talk more inclusively, how to include other groups, it'll increase productivity because more people will be pumped up to really participate in those programs and increase their productivity. Deploy mentors and support networks. I'm a big fan of this. Mentors are great. If growing up, I knew that I wanted to be successful. I knew that I wanted, to get an education, and when I was little, I thought I wanted to be a CEO of some company, own my own business. But when I looked there was really no one that looked like me. So I'm like, well, so how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? But, thankfully, there were people like my teachers that didn't look like me, but they were pushing me along. And they were my mentors to the process. They kept telling me, well, you can't see anyone that looks like you, but you can do it. You can do it. So reach out and really become a mentor for someone, because it really will help others rise to the top as well. So that's my presentation in short.
Yeah.
Very good.
I hope you liked it.
Does anybody have any questions?